I think airport looks को illegal कर देना चाहिए. मैं तंग आ चुका हूँ. When you're young and immature, you think कि मैं इंडिया आऊंगा और मेरे लिए लाइन खड़ी हो जाएगी. मतलब धर्मा आएगा, यशराज आएगा, सब मेरे को साइन करने के लिए लग जाएंगे. I looked at him on screen and I was like, oh, मैं इंडिया जाके एक्टर बनूंगा. Because हमारी आंखें सेम थी या कुछ तो था. I felt represented by him. मुझे गेम खेलना नहीं आता है, मुझे स्ट्रेटेजाइज करना नहीं आता है, मुझे मैनिपुलेट करना नहीं आता है, मुझे एक्टिंग करनी आती है. मैं उतना ग्रे नहीं हूँ. मैं एक्चुअली लाइफ में बहुत वाइट हूँ.
For all film-related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
You're making it a habit of putting the good into playing bad, is it?
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like that.
So you know, coming on a show, दिल अपना ग्रे, वैसे कितना ग्रे हो आप? Since we are talking about, black and white, कितने ग्रे हो आप?
मैं उतना ग्रे नहीं हूँ. मैं एक्चुअली लाइफ में बहुत वाइट हूँ. शायद इसलिए मैं ग्रेविटेट करता हूँ ग्रे रोल्स की तरफ. Because I'm actually like a very naive, innocent. Even though I've been in this business for so many years, I still don't know how so many things function. So yeah, that's I think why I gravitate towards these roles, because they push me in directions that एकदम मेरे जैसे मुझसे बहुत अलग roles होते हैं ये, and that's the fun of acting.
No, that's why when you said that I am a very white person, I was wondering, what is he doing in this film industry?
Yeah. Look, I love to act. I love to act. It's my favorite thing on the planet. So मुझे गेम खेलना नहीं आता है, मुझे स्ट्रेटेजाइज करना नहीं आता है, मुझे मैनिपुलेट करना नहीं आता है, मुझे एक्टिंग करनी आती है. So that's probably why my journey's been the way it's been. But I love this profession so much. मैं इतना भूखा एक्टर हूँ कि मैं सड़क पे खड़े होकर एक्टिंग कर सकता हूँ. Like I love this craft. So I do anything I can to keep pushing it forward. So if I have to be in this industry that's a bit difficult and manipulative and strategies and everyone is kind of trying to tear somebody else down to get ahead, so be it. Whatever it takes to keep acting, I will keep doing. So that's what I need to do. I mean, not that I will do that, but if that's the system I need to be a part of, then so be it.
My Lord, I used to need to learn something from you, because everyone says self-promotion karo, act smart, wo mujhse bhi nahi hota hai. And somewhere I think feel this. So when we speak about broken news, what is your relationship with news? And especially now, because it's very different from the time when I started 30 years ago. It's absolutely different. I don't even know what is fact and what is fiction. The negativity, I mean, literally that I do not read the news. I don't know when was the last time I picked up the newspaper for papers, but it just shakes me up. What is your relationship with the news? And especially being in an industry where you are the news every single day. And if you're not the news, there's something to worry about.
Well, I think you're actually in a better position to answer this than I am, but I'll give you my take on it. My take is that, through the broken news, actually, I learned quite a bit. I think earlier I didn't realize कि देखो, जैसे आम लोगों को नहीं पता कि हमारी जिंदगी में हमें क्या झेलना पड़ता है in order to act, right?
Yeah.
Normally people do not know how producers decide a cast, and it's not merit based necessarily. It's not the person who's the most talented that gets the job or the most deserving person. There are 1800 metrics behind why someone is chosen for a role and someone is not. I guess I know that because I'm in this industry. I was not so aware that news में भी ऐसे agendas होते हैं. And people, now I have a great deal of respect for the media and a great deal of respect, not that I didn't earlier, but more for journalists, because I realized that there's this huge mandate. There are people that are higher up in positions of power that want certain news to go out. They don't want other news to go out. So you have to fight the system to be truthful. The system doesn't allow you to be truthful inherently. So there's a flaw there. Now that flaw you can now sit and debate वो flaw क्यों है. Of course capitalistic society में जी रहे हैं तो शायद इसलिए, but उसके हजार कारण हैं. But my understanding or my lens now has changed. Sometimes I'm like, what's all this fake story nonsense? What is this? When the journalists themselves know कि ये तो झूठी कहानी है, why do they put it out? Now I understand. I have a great deal of sympathy. I have a great deal of empathy, and a great deal of respect now for the media after doing this show.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I quit my previous job because I was constantly told clickbait headlines. And this is a relationship I built with people. At the end of the day, they're human beings. And what is
Yeah.
clickbait? You cannot misconstrue my stories and a headline just to get click, because people would know. And when you talk about these mandates, I remember when we started journalism, it was always the senior editor who wanted to interview the big star. So you fixed up the big star. So what discrepancies हमने भी देखी हैं how, you know, quotes were twisted. But that's interesting. But you've had a very interesting lineup this year, because the year began with seeing you in Fighter. And though the movie did well, but there was also noise around it, you know, कि jingoistic है, ऐसे है. But it's the same audience that also celebrates these American war movies, which are also extremely jingoistic. What was your take on that?
Thank you, Pooja, for adding that bit about Hollywood and the West. I grew up in America.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. I've started to tell. I used to hide that fact because I used to think I won't get cast if I tell people मैं America से हूँ, because इसको भाषा नहीं आती, culture नहीं आता है. But मैं पला बड़ा वहाँ पे हूँ. So I know those films, and those films came out when I was growing up, and they were highly celebrated. There is something about our people. Maybe it's colonization. Maybe it's all the years of being repressed. We do not have respect for ourselves. So then when we see our country up there being celebrated, we sometimes are like, "Arey, ye to jingoistic hai." But you know, that film, and jingoistic is such a subjective word. जो चीज किसी को patriotic लगती है, वो किसी और को jingoistic लगता है. So it's sort of become cool to as soon as someone is patriotic, to tag them as jingoistic. I think that's just become a cool thing to do, which is deeply unfortunate. In America, you know, people walk around, they outside their houses, they write "God bless America."
Very proud of their war veterans and about their military.
Proud, which is why films like Top Gun, Pearl Harbor, you know, even Pearl Harbor is not a very good film, but you know how much money it made in the box office because it supported this ethos. So that is just I think because I have the blessing of being from, you know, born and brought up there, and being my heritage being from India, living here for the last 15, 16 years, I have a different view on it. And I'm so proud to be in Fighter. I think the film is marvelous. I think it's Siddharth Anand's best film. And I'm proud of my country, proud of India. And I'm so happy that I got a chance to be in a film that celebrates the country.
You know, it's funny now, Top Gun, it was like, I grew up watching Top Gun because I was 14 when that film came out. It's now called Combat Porn. That time we all just enjoyed it, whether getting into the nitty-gritties of it, we were loving the dog fights and everything. But now, as you said, it's become cool. And I come from a service background. We don't celebrate our martyrs enough. We don't celebrate our soldiers enough. And we just want to, like, I totally get where you're coming from.
No.
But totally.
You know, I remember, sorry to cut you, but I remember in America, anytime I would go somewhere, a basic amusement park or a restaurant or there was always a separate line and a separate cost for veterans. It always said war veterans ki line ye hai and unka price ye hai. You know, I don't see that anywhere in our country. Like there is no special thing given to war vets. And these people have fought for us. We are here today because of these people. So, you know, that's just to add on to what you were saying.
You know, yeah, exactly. Because when movies like Rang De Basanti came, and then you have all these movies, you know, the Sher Shah came. They wanted people to join the armed force because it's not lucrative enough, because पैसा नहीं है ना उसमें. आप अपनी जान दे देते हो मगर आपको पैसा नहीं मिलता है वहाँ पर. But I totally get that. But you know, it's very interesting to see your own journey, yeah, from where you started and now these big banners. What was the biggest challenge to reach here? And if someone had told you कि ये ऐसे होगा future में, जब आपने शुरुआत की थी, would you have believed the person?
Oh my God. See, you know, when you're young and immature, you think कि मैं इंडिया आऊंगा और मेरे लिए लाइन खड़ी हो जाएगी. मतलब धर्मा आएगा, यशराज आएगा, सब मेरे को साइन करने के लिए लग जाएंगे. I think what I learned about myself in this journey is that I have a lot of patience, and I love acting so much that all the punches I take on a daily basis, all the rejection I face on a daily basis, I wake up the next day, I dust myself off, and I go back out, and that's why I have survived. And I have great value for that. शायद अगर मेरी पहली पिक्चर चल जाती या दूसरी पिक्चर चल जाती, मैं कुछ दूसरा इंसान होता, you know, and my priorities would be different. Maybe my priorities would be more money. Maybe my priorities would be more fandom. Maybe my priorities was to call you every day and say कि रोज मुझे छाप दो paper में, as opposed to earning my right to talk to you. So I have a great deal of value for everything I do today. So if somebody asks me for a selfie, if somebody gives me a nice role in a big banner, if you're talking with me today, I have great amount of respect and value for it. So your journey shapes you. Had I known my journey would be so difficult and it would take me 14 years to be in a mainstream movie like Fighter, I don't know that it 14 years to be in a mainstream movie. Yes. I mean, I think I've done 22 movies and I think I've done about 20 series or something like that. I think I have like 45, 50 credits to my name. But to be in a big film that everyone watched, like Fighter, मुझे 14 साल लग गए. मेरी पहली film आई थी 2010 में. So had I known that, I would have been like, oh, too scary. But how I survived those 14 years is deep amount of passion for what I do. Nothing else. Otherwise, I would have packed my bags and been like, get out of here. You know, this is too difficult a line.
But that's awesome. Yours is a story of perseverance. Now, after Fighter, you said Yash Raj Dharma bhi aa gaya aapki wish list mein. So, what can you tell us about the movie? Just about started to shoot. It's got a very long name, Sunny Sanskari ki Tulsi Kumar. बहुत ही लंबा है यार.
That's right. I know. I'm so excited. I mean, Dharma is everybody's wish list, right? So I'm just happy to be in the film. I think Shashank Khaitan is a great director. Nobody knows this industry better than Karan Johar. I haven't, these are movies that everyone watches. And my hunger to be seen and my hunger to be in commercial cinema, because I realize the impact it has, because as an artist, that's what you want, right? You want people to watch your work. Partly it's for you, partly the journey of developing the craft and getting better at what you do is for you. But how you know you're getting better is when, by merit, no other reason, not because I'm best friends with somebody, not because I belong to some family, not because of who I know, but it's because of what I know that I got this job. And that feels great. It feels great to be merit-based casting. Jo hoti hai na? I mean, even if you look at Fighter, that role could have gone to anybody. I mean, Sid is the top of his game. Pathaan di unhone. Fighter mein he could have cast anybody in my role. But it came to me, and there's no reason it came to me other than merit, That's it. So the confidence that comes from that, the excitement that comes from that keeps you going.
A lot has changed. I do feel there's a lot of inclusivity now in the industry. But which is one actor whose journey has totally inspired you, because each one of them have been through similar up and hill. Kisi ki struggle zyada hai, kisi ki struggle thodi kam hai. But who's somebody whose craft and journey has truly inspired you?
Pooja, I'm inspired by so many people, but if one name, as you said it, that came to my mind was Irfaan. Irfaan Saab is somebody that, where he comes from and where he ended up. And I'm talking about Hollywood, big mega budget movies like Ang Lee cast him, Ron Howard cast him, and then all the top directors here cast him. And people don't know his struggle leading up to this. They only know the Irfaan that showed up once he was famous and popular. But his journey and his struggle and his self-belief gave me a lot of hope, Even though we come from totally different backgrounds, we look totally different, we sound totally different. The fact that he was able to achieve what he achieved gave me a lot of faith in just putting my head down and working hard.
So, I wanted to ask you, because I did see the bromance between you and Hrithik. What was it like working with him, that guy has also totally reinvented himself.
Yeah. I'm glad you bring up Hrithik, because the other person who's inspired me is Hrithik. I grew up in New Jersey, and I remember I was 14 or 15 and I saw Kohana Pyare in a theater in Morristown, New Jersey. My father had taken me to see the film, and I looked at him on screen and I was like, oh, मैं इंडिया जाके एक्टर बनूंगा, because हमारी आंखें सेम थी या कुछ तो था. I felt represented by him. I felt some connection to him. And the universe, Pooja, is such a weird place. I don't know how did I manifest this, how this happened, but my big mainstream movie ends up being with him. So, and they say never meet your idols, but meeting him has been, only a joy, and working with him is an even greater joy. So I have nothing but the best things to say about him.
Since you are a master manifestor, आपका कौन manifest करें हम आपके लिए?
अभी मैं क्या manifest कर रहा हूँ? अब ये पूछ रही है.
हाँ.
How about another big blockbuster movie like Fighter? How about that?
तथास्तु. So जाते जाते बताओ illegal आपकी next आ रही है, illegal की कौन सी सबसे illegal चीज है इस इंडस्ट्री की, ये बताओ जो आप सोचते हैं जिसको लीगल कर देना चाहिए.
I think airport looks को illegal कर देना चाहिए. मैं तंग आ चुका हूँ. मतलब I don't understand that game at all, and I think that should be illegal.
Wow. दिल अपना grey. When was the moment when you felt कि मेरा दिल grey है? I can see shades of grey.
You know, it's so difficult. I think anybody around you will tell you that मैं बड़ा भोला भाला इंसान हूँ. So I just don't have negative thoughts. I don't have bad feelings. Sometimes I feel jealous, and that jealousy only comes when I see an actor who is successful, like उसकी तारीफ हो रही है और उसकी picture release हुई है. That's the one time I feel like हाँ मेरा दिल थोड़ा grey है. That's normal. That's human, and I feel like that's competition. You know, like that's important for me to keep pushing myself. Sometimes I'm like, why am I feeling so jealous? And sometimes I feel jealous of actresses who just like suddenly blew up, you know, and I'm like, ho kya raha hai? Like this is nothing to do with, you know, there's a totally different gender and a totally different journey. But suddenly they blow up and I feel jealous of their success, you know. So that's the one time I feel like, yeah, I'm a little grey.
I get that when I see another journalist getting a better interview. So I also do feel, but Akshay, more power to you, and keep fighting on, and looking forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.